All right, some general rules, definitions, chain of command, coaches, line judges, circle directors. So coaches, if you have a concern about a call or a way a game was played, go ask your line judge. Line judges will always tell the coach if a team was disqualified and why, so they know. Coaches, if you still have an issue, you can always ask to talk to the circle director about that. The circle director has the final say on that circle. The Awana missionary does not. So don't come and find me. I'm not going to help you on that one. So we want to leave that there. And yes, sometimes there can be calls that go, well, that just wasn't a right call. We don't do any video instant replays, even though we've thought about it, but we're not going to get there, okay? We don't need to be splitting those kind of hairs, not at all. Adherence, that's basically using anything to make your shoes stickier. Water, licking them, or any of that kind of stuff. We don't want to do that. Good, clean, dry shoes. We'll make sure the floor is clean before we start. Most of our areas other than Boise, we will be playing on the big game tarps, which you guys are familiar with. They have lots of traction. They almost maybe have too much traction. They're crazy traction. So anyway, we want to make sure that you're not using anything on your shoes, on your kids' shoes. Scoring pins at the 5-foot mark. Both Sparks and TNT will both be using scoring pins. TNT have used that for a couple years now. Sparkies, we're going to use scoring pins for them. The big question is, of course, all they need to do is touch, tip, and possession is not necessary. But if a Sparky or anybody goes in and grabs the pin, that's okay. That's fine that they grab the pins. We're not going to count that as disqualification. Just had a question about will Central Oregon have game mats? Yes, they will. We'll be playing on 2 game mats for Central Oregon. So, yep, the big 40-foot tarp mats. Good question. Okay, circle pins. Circle pins are the pins that are obviously they're setting at the on the circle right where the diagonal intersects. Things to remember about circle pins in any running event: if a circle pin gets knocked down, that is a disqualification, okay? Excuse me for my cough. I'm trying to drink a little water not to get too hoarse on you. All right, false starts, reruns. We'll try to avoid those as best we can. The first one we'll give grace on. The second one your team might be disqualified on. So hopefully we won't have any of that problems going on. Passing rule. The passing rule is just what it says. All of our events, there's no tag out rules. So if someone is coming up fast on the back of your kids and they yell pass, the thing is they need to allow, your kids need to allow the team to pass, and then they can keep running on hard. So we keep running hard. We don't want to see kids causing an interference by not allowing a faster team to pass. And on the same token, a faster team cannot run over the top of a slower team. They can pass on the outside. If they're running that fast, that'll keep them. They will have no problem. Flights. In some of our areas where we have multiple teams running, and we'll having a flight and a B flight. That's happened in different areas. So there again, we'll let you know which flight you're on. If we have that many teams register, hopefully we do. We love that. Coaches, you are allowed on the game floor when getting players ready to participate. So 4-way tug, or getting them lined up for your relays, or getting them in line for the balloon relays. That's when you can come onto the floor, get your team members into place. Once your team members are into place, then you need to step back off the floor outside the square, and then you can cheer, count, whatever you need to do. Also make sure that your kids, if they're not participating, have them sitting down on the line. Number one, that keeps them from bopping all around and maybe accidentally getting in the way or that sort of thing. And it gives you a better opportunity to keep control of your team members as they go through. So, okay, so make sure that coaches, you are in where you need to be at, all right? Passing zone. Okay, passing zone. If it's a baton race or a beanbag race, like the Sparky Safari, and it says the beanbag or the baton needs to be passed in your zone, if you're the green team, you have from the edge of the yellow line to the edge of the green line to get that, whatever that device is, passed, okay? Many times in a lot of the running races, you'll see there's a little 1 foot hash mark that's 4 foot off. That's really designed for your players to line up here so they don't grab the device prior to outside their team zone. So make sure that you pass everything in between your zone right there, okay? And we'll talk more about that as we go over it, okay? All right. Question about we'll be able to email this PowerPoint out. We might get this, good question. We might get this PowerPoint posted. I will let you know on that. Thank you very much for that question. Okay. Team zone. Any events that you're playing in the team zone, that's your zone. That's your area right there. It's shaded into gray. Anytime it talks about playing in a team zone, that is your area, okay? All right, the next thing that gets a lot of questions is, what about the width of the tape? So if this is our tape line right here, and we always talk about, you always get the width of the tape for disqualification. This here, these 3 feet here are in good shape. This foot here, not okay, breaks that tape line. So you can have your toes right up to the tape. You can have your toes halfway on the tape, but when they break that line, that is a disqualification there, okay? So we'll never start teams disqualified. When the line judge will hold his hand up when he sees his team is ready, and he'll look and see, make sure the toes are behind the lines and everybody's ready to go. So what you need to do is make sure that make sure you train your kids to give just a little air gap there. I don't think they need to be stepping on the line, because that's just a great way to get them disqualified, because I know what happens. Your feet walk is what takes place. So, okay. All right. I'm going to unmute everybody for a minute here.